Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Our today's topic is what is language across the curriculum. Let's discuss about the concept in detail and know what it means and how important it is in our everyday teaching learning process. Let's look at the highlighted portion in the slide. This concept is based on the fact that language is not a subject but a tool in the learning process across all subjects and disciplines. This concept also highlights that every teacher is a language teacher because from every class, a child learns new words associated to that subject. Now, let's focus on three important points that are associated with language across the curriculum concept. Look at the picture. First, let's think about language not as a single subject but as a constellation of essential skills. Constellation here means a group of essential skills. These are the skills of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. We often associate these into a language period, but the reality is that these are generalized abilities that moves across every single subject. As we know that in each and every subject, we need language. Whether a student is following a set of instructions in a science lab, or he is explaining a historical event, or he is breaking down a word problem in math, they are using these core language skills that are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. As you all know, therefore, a child's mastery over listening, speaking, reading, and writing is not just about being good at one subject, that is language. In fact, it is one of the most important factors in determining their overall success at school. Okay? So let's go to the second point, that is beyond the language classroom. As I have already highlighted in the slide, every teacher is a language teacher and language learning is a shared responsibility. This leads directly to our second point, that is learning is not confined to the language classroom only. In truth, a science, social science or mathematics class is also, by its very nature, a language class. What does this mean in practice? Let's discuss. It means that learning a subject is not just about memorizing figures and facts, it's about learning the specific terminology of that discipline. For example, words like photosynthesis can be learned only from a science class. Similarly, words like democracy from a social science class and words like natural numbers can be learned only from a math class. Just like understanding the underlying concepts these words represent. Okay? And most importantly, it's about being able to discuss these concepts with peers and write about them critically. So, you know that language is used even beyond the language classroom and it is found to be used in each and every class of a student. Then let's come to the third point. Okay? Just look at the picture. The third point is regarding language and thinking. As we know, both language and thinking are interrelated with each other. Okay? Think about your own learning process or even you can think about your own writing process in an examination. True learning occurs when you take in new information inside us by listening or by reading and then we process it by talking about it or writing about it. As we know that listening and reading are receptive skills while speaking and writing are productive skills. Okay, so we receive something through listening and reading while we produce something through speaking and writing. And for all these skills, we need thinking. We relate this new knowledge to what we already know. This is called assimilation process that I have already told you and I have also highlighted this. That assimilation that I have highlighted in the third point is a process in which we add new knowledge to our existing store of knowledge and it can be possible only by the use of language and our thinking process. This process of storming with ideas is a thinking process and it is done entirely through what? Through language. When a student speaks or writes, what they are producing is a manifestation of their thinking process. As I have highlighted below the third point, if their thinking is unclear, their language is unclear. Therefore, language is far more than a communication tool. Okay, it is the essential essence of our whole thought process. It helps us for conceptualizing, for thinking, for organizing, and for networking ideas together. So, language is a very important essence of our whole thought process. So, to summarize, language is a set of curricular skills. It is the medium of instruction in every classroom, and it is the very foundation of thought itself. Okay, now let's move on to the next slide. Now look at this slide. It is very clear. If we accept that language is central to all learning, what are the core principles that guide the language across the curriculum concept? Let's break down its key premises. Premise 1 is about more than communication. First, and this is the crucial one, language across the curriculum asks us to see that language is more than just communication skills. It is not merely a pipeline for shipping finished ideas from one person to another. It plays a far more active and creative role in learning. Okay? Let's come to the premise 2, that is a thinking link. This is because, as our second premise states, language is intrinsically linked to the thinking process itself. We have also discussed it in our slide 1. We do not first have a perfectly formed thought and then simply dress it in words. Very often, we think in languages. We use words to shape, refine, and even discover our own ideas. The act of writing or speaking is an act of thinking. We have already discussed it in our slide 1. Okay, let's go to the premise 3. That is about a tool for conceptualizing. That's why our third premise is so powerful. Language is a tool for conceptualizing and for mental activity. It is the toolkit we use to build our own understanding. For example, a student cannot truly grasp the concept of gravity without the language to define it, to describe its effects, and to distinguish it from other forces. It is the language which allows them to hold that abstract concept in their mind, examine it, and to work with it. Okay? And now let's go to premise 4, that is clarifying thought. This leads directly to the fourth premise. Language for academic purposes helps to express thoughts more clearly, and this is especially true for writing. Just think about an academic discourse and a casual conversation. In an academic discourse, we use precise vocabulary, logical connectors, and clear organization because we need clarity of thought. But in casual conversation, we do not need such things. Let's take an example. When a student has to write a lab report or a historical analysis, he needs to write it down with logic, greater precision, and clarity of thought. Okay? Now let's go to premise 5, that is structuring discourse. Finally, the fifth premise, language helps to structure discourse and practice discourse functions. Every subject has its own way of arguing, explaining, and describing. You know it better. A scientist argues with evidence from experiments. A historian argues with primary sources. But what does language do here? Language provides structures. Okay? The sentence starters, the transitional phrases, the genera conventions to participate in these subject-specific conversations. So now let's discuss the role of the teacher in language across the curriculum approach. Suppose you are a subject teacher. Just think yourself as a subject teacher, okay? Then what should be your role in language across the curriculum approach? Let's understand. Your role is very crucial, and it can be broken down into two powerful areas of focus. As you see on the slide, building cognitive competencies and fostering communicative competencies. Okay? Here, the core mission is explained through the table. Just look at the table. Think of yourself as a bridge. Your mission is to develop students' everyday language abilities into subject-specific thinking and communication. On one side, you build the cognitive competencies, that is, the mind's toolkit. This means you are directly responsible for helping students to master your subject-specialized vocabulary and unique language patterns. What we call it as register. For example, you don't just teach them what a hypothesis is. You teach them how to think and write like a scientist who uses such hypothesis. You build their critical thinking by showing them how a historian analyzes evidence or how a mathematician deconstructs a problem. On the other side, you must create the environment for communicative competencies. Knowledge is not passive. You must intentionally create the space for language use through discussions, debates, dramatizations, and group work. And because expressing complex ideas is challenging, you scaffold their output with sentence starters, model texts, and provide focused feedback that helps them to refine both their ideas and how they express them. That means as a mentor, as a teacher, as a subject teacher, you have to do something for the refinements as well as for the better expressions. Okay? But what are the things that we should do in practice? In practice, this means your teaching shifts to the next level. Instead of just presenting vocabulary, you model and deconstruct the language of your discipline. You make the hidden rules of a science report or a historical argument visible and explicit to the students. Instead of only assigning silent reading, you design tasks that force students to talk and write about the content using the terms and structures you have taught them. Instead of only marking answers right and wrong, you must give them feedback that values the thinking process and guides them towards more precise and powerful expression. Okay? So in essence, let us summarize. Language across the curriculum approach does not add to your workload, it reframes it. You are no longer just a presenter of content. Now let us talk about one of the most powerful concepts in language across the curriculum, that is the idea of register. We have already used this word once or twice in our previous slides, but now let us read it in detail. Think about the clothes you choose to wear. You are likely to use different styles for different occasions. Comfortable clothes for home, formal wear for ceremony, maybe a uniform for a sport. Language works in exactly the same way. Register simply refers to the variety of language we use in a particular social situation or context. And in school, this translates directly to what we call academic registers. Okay. So the point one is about everyday versus academic register. The first and the most important distinction to understand is between the everyday register and the academic register. The everyday register is the language of home, of friends, of casual conversation. It's spontaneous, informal, and full of shared understandings. But the academic register used in school is totally different. It's more formal, precise, and authoritative by nature. It's the language of textbooks, reports, and the classroom discussions. These are not the same language, and we can't assume that students automatically know how to switch between them. It is a skill that must be taught inside the classroom. Now let's go to the second point, that is subject-specific registers. Within the academic world, different subjects have their own distinct subject-specific registers, certain technical vocabulary, precise symbols, and different technical terms. You must have an idea about this. Each subject has its own unique fingerprint, its own specialized vocabulary, grammatical patterns, and ways of structuring an argument. So to conclude with point 3, learning a subject is equal to learning its register. To truly succeed in science, a student must learn to talk and write like a scientist. To understand history, they must learn to think and write like a historian. Finally, let's study multilingualism as a resource. But what do you mean by multilingualism? Simply speaking, multilingualism is the ability of an individual to use more than one language for communication. In a multilingual country like India, where a student might speak one language at home, another on the street, and learn another at school. So here, the LSE approach offers a revolutionary perspective. We must use students' existing languages not as barrier, but as a vital resource. So let's go to our first point, that is about translanguaging. This is where the concept of translanguaging becomes so powerful. Translanguaging is simply the natural practice of switching between languages to maximize understanding and communication. It is what our students do instinctively to make sense of the world. Instead of seeing this as a problem or lack of proficiency, language across the curriculum approach encourages us to harness translanguaging in the classroom. Just allow a student to discuss a complex science concept in their mother tongue with a peer before formulating their answer in English. Let them use their home language to brainstorm ideas or look up a meaning. This is not cheating. It is called cognitive scaffolding. It acknowledges a fundamental truth. Skills acquired in the mother tongue, like critical thinking, analysis, and storytelling are directly transferable to other languages. That is our second point. That is the skill transfer. By using all their linguistics tools, we enhance their understanding and boost their confidence to participate. So, enhanced learning is possible only by the use of all languages that a child knows. So, let's bring it all together. What is language across the curriculum in its essence? In summary, language across the curriculum is a holistic approach that views language as the very foundation of all learning. It is a call to action for every educator. It insists that we, as teachers of every subject, must be aware of the unique languages demands of our disciplines, the vocabulary, the structures, the registers. We must intentionally and strategically facilitate our students' language development not as a separate task but as an integral part of teaching our content. So, when you do this, we stop seeing language as a wall that some students cannot climb. Instead, we recognize it as the bridge we build together, a bridge made from their homes, from their home languages, their evolving academic vocabulary, and their own voices. It will certainly lead to deep, meaningful, and empowered learning in every single subject. So, finally, thanks for watching. Kindly consider subscribing my channel. I will come with new and informative videos like this in